Hello and welcome back to Get Up and Game. My name is Josh, and in this video I'm going to be concluding my core set run of Marvel United using the Commander solo rules to attempt to defeat all the villains in the original core set. So all we have left is Taskmaster, and we're going to be using Iron Man as our main hero to go up against him. Now, if you've watched the first two videos in this series, you'll know that I have sort of handily won against Red Skull and Ultron, so I'm really looking for a challenge here. And I've heard that Taskmaster is the hardest villain in the box, so we're going to put that to the test. Now, full disclosure, this is going to be the second time I'm doing this. I actually had this whole video filmed and I was editing it, and I made a pretty dumb error towards the end of the game that I decided I didn't want to use the video, so I guess I got a little bit of a practice game in against Taskmaster, but I'm kind of glad to get a second crack at him because I had that game won even with the error in it. And he didn't really do too much, but I have heard he's supposed to be difficult, so I want to see him in action. So I want to give him a second chance. So in this one, we're going to be doing the Heroic Challenge, where I've removed Iron Man's single and double wilds. And I've just decided I'm not even going to mess with the battle plan cards. I keep forgetting to use them anyway. So we're going to see how hard this is without. We're just going to have our main hero deck. Take an Iron Man without his wilds. And the support deck with Wasp, Captain America, the Hulk, and Black Widow. And we're not going to have any fancy equipment or battle plan cards. We're just going to see if we can beat Taskmaster without them. Now, Taskmaster's whole deal is he puts crisis tokens on locations, and if there's a crisis token in any location, Taskmaster cannot be damaged. So when he does put those out, we'll have to go ahead and take care of those. And just a quick look at his threats, he has 2 copies of the Elite Thugs that make the Thugs take an extra damage. So I always like to double up the tokens to remind me of that. He has 2 copies of Entangling Trap that makes it harder to move to leave those locations. And he has 2 copies of Explosive Trap that makes the civilians harder to rescue, so I have those doubled up as well. And the thing that I learned from my first play against him is you need a lot of heroic actions in order to clear these threats and rescue civilians. So I'm hoping we've got enough. We're going to go ahead and get started. Villain always takes the first turn, so let's see what Taskmaster's going to do. He's going to move 4, he's going to bam, and he's going to put out some thugs. This card alone is almost more than he did the whole first game. I'm telling you, he just sat in one corner. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he just rarely, I must have got all of his easy cards because he just didn't do much in that first game. And then his BAM says deal 1 damage to each hero in Taskmaster's location. We're safe there. And add a crisis token there. So now we need to remember those crisis tokens here, and you can punch or heroic it away, but only if the location is clear of tokens. So we'll have to get everything else off of there first. And in this one, there aren't any henchmen for me to forget to bam, so we don't have to worry about that. And then we're just putting out 3 thugs. So we get 1 here. And 1 here, and I'm just gonna double it up. It'd probably be good enough to just have 1 doubled up for me to remember, but don't underestimate my ability to forget to do things in these games, especially after a very long day of work. So every visual reminder is going to be beneficial. So we did everything. He moved, he put out his crisis. We are good there. The only thing I did forget to draw my hand, but that's all right. So I would have my Stark resources. I get some move tokens. Good double heroic, that's nice to have, and a single heroic. We're definitely going to need those. And then the support row is going to be just Captain America's leadership cards to get us started. So now that I've played this a few times, I'm definitely learning the value of clearing threats early in the game in order to expose some of the end of turn actions on locations. That just seems like a really valuable way to play the early game. So I think we're just gonna do that. Now, in the Commander solo rules, you have to take a hero turn after the villain goes, and then after that you're free to use the support cards. And yeah, we're just gonna start off strong with a double heroic. That right over there. And if we can clear this explosive trap, it'll be a lot easier to get that civilian off of there instead of using 2 heroics just to rescue him. And then I think for the second action, we're gonna go ahead and take another Iron Man turn. So we draw a card. So we get his double punch, and we could take out a couple thugs there. This board is a pretty even mix of civilians and thugs, so we could kind of go either direction if we wanted to try to complete one of those missions. And more than likely, I'll be completing the clear threats one, because it seems like I always end up doing that. We're gonna have 2 heroic symbols at our disposal, so I kind of want the move, I think. Or we could just take the double punch and completely clear the location, and then we'll have a double punch next turn. That seems fine. Let's do that. So we'll play our double punch. So we've got 4 actions, which is awesome. So we have 2 heroics. We'll use 1 to clear the explosive trap, and we'll end up using the other to rescue that civilian. So that one comes off. We get the clear threat token, so got that mission started. And so they're not doubled up anymore. And then I'll use the other heroic to rescue this civilian. And we've got 2 punches. We'll just take out these 2 thugs. The shield headquarters has been cleared of problems. And we've exposed the end of turn action. You may discard a card from your hand to the bottom of your deck to remove 1 crisis token from anywhere. Now, obviously, that is very beneficial to what's going on here, but I want to assure you, the way I've been setting these up, you've probably noticed I always just start the villain over here and the hero over there. I just randomize the locations and shuffle up the threat cards, and wherever they end up is just where they end up. So even though I'm starting the villain and the hero in the same spot every time, it's always on a random location. So the fact that the shield headquarters started right there, I promise was an accident, but a happy one. And I think we'll probably end up taking advantage of that, because we definitely don't want these getting out on the board. He didn't put very many out on the first game I played, but I could see how he would put out more if things were going better for him. So I think I'm going to give up this single heroic for later on the bottom for the end of turn action, and we're just going to take this crisis right off of there. Now for our third action, we should probably take advantage of the support row. Don't want to run through our deck too fast. We don't have anything to do here, and we left ourselves with 2 punches. So I could have set myself up better, I suppose. Well, I think we're going to use this Captain America leadership card. Oh, sorry about that, Tasky. So we're going to have 2 punches, a heroic, and then I get a wild token. So we got that wild token, but I think we're just going to use it pretty much immediately. Yeah, I got to move. So we're just going to spend that to fly on over here to Times Square. Probably not a great idea to hang out with the villain, but there's a lot going on there. I want to try to clean up some of it. And then we have 2 punches and a heroic symbol. And I am going to use the 2 punches to take out one of these thugs, just because might as well. And then for the heroic, do I rescue a civilian or get started on this elite thugs? Say if I put it on here, I'm going to have one for next time. Maybe I can mix it with a couple more if I'm very lucky. And I do like getting these threats off the board. So yeah, the civilians can keep milling around Times Square for the time being. I'm dealing with these elite thugs. Okay, so we'll refill this. And we get Wasp's energy projection. So we can move anywhere and punch. That's probably going to be nice later. And now it is going to be Taskmaster's turn. Okay, keep knocking him over. Let me reach over him. And let's see, he is going to move 1 space. So he is going over to Avengers Mansion. Cause some ruckus over there. He's going to bam again. There's no damage, but another crisis token comes out. And then he's putting out more thugs here, here, and here. More doubled up thugs for me to deal with. Over here as well, actually. And now Central Park is all full up. All right, feels like there's a lot going on. We have 1 heroic, and we got to take a Tony turn, so let's see what we draw. A move and a punch. Well, it kind of feels like we're in a tight spot with the actions we have access to right now. So we're just going to kind of take a wimpy turn. We're going to play Stark Resources. It's going to give me 2 movement tokens. and a punch. I'm just going to hold on to the movement tokens. I think those will be useful for the future. The punch is going to get wasted, but I am going to use the leftover heroic to put another spot on the elite thugs here. Definitely doesn't feel like a great turn, but I was really hoping to maybe draw another heroic to be able to finish that off. One punch is not enough to take out these thugs right now, and they're really slowing me down. But those are the cards we had access to. But at least we have a couple moves banked for the future, so that might help us get around when we need to. Now for our second turn, we can use another Captain America leadership card. It's going to get us a wild, and then we have two punches where we're going to use the wild to clear this elite thugs. Get that out of there. Which clears another threat. And now these aren't doubled up anymore. And we'll just use our two punches to knock out these thugs. Definitely seems like that's the direction we're going as far as clearing out our missions goes. And there is an end of turn. You may rescue a civilian from this location. Well, don't mind if I do. Pretty nice. Out comes Wasp's Shrink that will protect us from damage maybe later in the game. And then we still have one more turn this round, and we're going to have a punch. We've got a couple movement tokens. I think that's going to end up being really nice. These darn elite thugs, one punch is just not enough to make a dent in them. I'll tell you, this Taskmaster setup, he does a really good job of slowing you down, because either the civilians and the thugs take way too many actions to clear, or you've got to come up with so many heroic actions to clear the threats, or you move to these other spots where they're not doubled up, but then they're hard to move out of. Like, it's really well designed to cause you all kinds of trouble. I sort of wish there was a little story with the villains to have a better idea of what the theme of what they're trying to accomplish is. Like, I'm not really sure what the crisis tokens represent. I assume he's like causing explosions or setting things on fire, and I have to deal with those before I can directly deal with him. So I could just kind of make up the story for myself, I suppose, but I do kind of like to know what I'm trying to accomplish. Well, I think since we have all the movement tokens, and Iron Man is pretty mobile, I've noticed his cards, he seems to have a lot of movement, which, you know, makes sense. We're going to use the Wasp Energy Projection card. You can move to any location and punch there, and then it also gives us a punch. So we're going to take advantage of the movement. We're going to fly over to Central Park because it is full. I would prefer to avoid an overflow, and then we basically have 3 punches. So we are dangerously close to finishing off the Defeat Thugs mission already. So we definitely need to slow our roll a little bit there, but got to keep the board clear too. I'm really glad I got a chance to play this a second time. I'm always annoyed when I make big mistakes that cause me to refilm videos, but I definitely feel like I'm getting more of a taste of what Taskmaster actually is trying to do. And yeah, it's slow you down and make it really hard to accomplish anything is what he's doing. So Black Widow is going to come out with one of her interrogate cards. Those are really nice. I don't feel like we really need the punches, but I like the action on those. So that's going to be the end. We don't have an end of turn action, and we are stuck in the entangling trap, but I think we shouldn't have too much trouble getting out of there. Taskmaster is going to take another turn. He is going to move 2 and bam again. So now he's moving here. No damage to us, but another crisis token. So now there's 2 on the board. We have to clear all of them before we can damage him. He only has 2 health, and the solo rules you set it up as if it were a 2-player game for the villain's health. So if you can actually get to him, you could probably take him out, but I think you're meant to be running around putting out all those crisis tokens. You can't really touch him. So we did the BAM, we did the movement, and we're getting 3 thugs. So it is a good thing I cleaned up that location, because this one would have overflowed, which would have been yet another crisis token. So we're putting out 3 more thugs. We only need 1 more to complete the mission, so we don't want to go crazy knocking these guys out. And now the police headquarters is full. So I really need to start getting some kind of heroic, clearing a couple more of these threats, and we got to get a move on. We drew our advanced combat analysis because we have to take a Tony turn. We have 2 movement tokens. We have a lot of movement, so the entangling trap isn't going to slow us down. It stinks to have to waste movement action just getting out of there, but That's what we're gonna have to do. I think we're gonna be heavily relying on the shield headquarters to remove the crisis tokens for us, because it's gonna be too much just trying to fly around and putting them all out. Plus you have to clear the locations, which is really hard to do when the tokens there are doubled up. But we're still nowhere near completing a second mission. We could complete the defeat thugs pretty much whenever we want to. So we need to come up with a plan of how we're gonna clear a second mission, because it is gonna require 6 more heroic actions, or 7 basically. That is a lot considering Widow only gives me punches, Hulk only gives me movement, Wasp is some variety, and Captain America gives the wild tokens at least. And I think Iron Man has 1 more double heroic, and there's a single one in there as well. And until I'm ready to punch out that last thug, all of my punches are going to be useless, because I definitely don't want to be doing that too soon. Yeah, this is tough. I'm seeing now where this is tough. Since he doesn't have minions to punch, it's just such an overwhelmingly large amount of heroic actions you need if you don't want to complete the Defeat Thugs mission too fast. Well, no matter what I do, I'm not going to have any heroic actions this turn. Well, I just don't have any good options, so I'm going to do all I can do. I need 2 movement to even get out of there. So that'll use that to get me here, and then I'll use the 1 from the move card I played just to come down here. I'm not going to use the punch for anything, and we're just going to rescue a civilian from this location just so we get something accomplished. I still have 2 more turns, and now I'll have a movement. I kind of want to end here and take advantage of this action, but that's not going to let me do much else. Yeah, that's probably what we're gonna do. We're gonna take another Iron Man turn. Ugh, I need heroics. Got a movement. Well, we're not gonna have any shortage of punches, so we're just gonna use up that card just to kind of waste it. We're gonna move here. We're gonna discard this to the bottom of our deck to remove this crisis token. I don't know, y'all. This does not feel like it's going well at all. You know what? I'm going to take that back a little bit. I'm going to use this card instead, just to leave myself with a movement for the next turn. I wasn't really thinking about the next turn. Yeah, because then I'm going to use Wasp for the wild. So we have a movement, a punch, and a wild, and then we're going to be invulnerable. We're going to have that with us. We're going to use the movement to go here. And the wild, I think I'm going to put a heroic on that spot, because it's going to be 6 heroic actions either way, to either rescue 6 more civilians or clear 2 more threats. And it would be nice to get more end of turn actions, I guess. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. I like clearing threats. That's a fun thing I like doing in the game. So that's the direction we're going to go. And then we're going to be invulnerable. And again, we're just going to not use our punch, because we don't want to complete that mission. So just really hoping to draw some more heroic actions. We got Hulk coming up, so we know that's not going to be helpful. You know, it would be helpful. That heroic leaning battle plan card that I kept forgetting to use in the first 2 games would have given me all kinds of extra heroic actions. That would have been very perfect in this situation. At least I got a wild for next turn. Let's see what Taskmaster's doing. He's going to stay put. If there are no heroes in his location, he's going to get another crisis token. Well, that is the case. So there are 2 out there still. The invulnerable comes off. Didn't end up doing us any good, but you never know. Come on, give me double heroic. Well, there's a single one. Oh, and you may draw until you have 3 cards in your hand. That's nice. Oh, and we have the wild. Okay, good. Yes, we're definitely going to play the power recharge. We're going to draw until we have 3 cards. There's some more. Okay, we want to see those stars. Nice. Okay. And then, yeah, the 2 heroics we'll use to clear the entangling trap. So that's going to go away. This comes off, and it's going to let us discard a thug from any location. Oh, that's awesome. It doesn't defeat them, it discards them. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and take it from here so it's not full anymore. Oh, you know what? Even better. I don't know how far Taskmaster can move, but let's discard one from here since they're doubled up. Cool, cool, cool. So now we're going to have another heroic. If we can just clear one more threat, we shouldn't have any trouble punching him out, but we are going to have to get rid of those crisis tokens too. I think that's what's going to be hard. We're running out of time here. We only have 4 cards left, and if we can't ever play one of our cards, we lose. And we're going to be running all over the board trying to deal with his nonsense. Now I have to be really careful here because I really want to use Iron Man's cards here for the heroic actions. I could pretty easily get over there, maybe deal with that explosive trap, but I also should be using some of these to try to get a variety of actions. The problem is these two aren't particularly useful right now, and we know we've got another Hulk smash coming up. So I really just kind of have to math out what is going to work out for the best. I think we have to take more Iron. We have to have the heroics. There's just no getting around it. And he's where they live. So we're going to draw our last card, and then we are going to play our move and our heroic. We're going to move over here with Taskmaster. We have 2 heroics, so we're just going to put them on the explosive trap. I think it's the way to go. And then we have 1 turn left. We're going to have a move and a heroic. So we're going to be able to clear the explosive trap no matter what. And then we just need to figure out, because we still have to clear that location if we're going to take the threats off. The other option is to try to hang out in Shield headquarters for a couple turns, but that's a lot of time spent and movement. But that might be an option. Well, I've been racking my brain for a while, and those of you who know the game better than I, maybe you've seen a really good way to play this, but I'm still getting to know the game, and I'm having a lot of fun trying to puzzle this out, but I can't see a great way to play this. So we're going to use the Black Widow Interrogate. So we're going to have a move, a heroic, and a punch. We'll use the heroic to finish off the explosive trap, which is going to finish this mission. And now the civilians are no longer doubled up. We have a punch, so we can take this off, so that is also complete. So now he is vulnerable to damage at least. The end of turn action isn't going to be useful because our deck is empty. And we still need to rescue that civilian before we can even clear those crisis tokens. So I kind of want to stay put, even though we have a movement. But, well, we can use her interrogate. We can at least see what he's going to do. So he's going to move 3, come down here, and then put out some more civilians. Well, I don't really care about that. He's not going to put on another crisis. And I could put this on the bottom if I want. So I just have to decide if this is a good thing or if I think there could be something better. I think the biggest problem would be if he bammed and put another crisis token out. We definitely don't want that. There's just more actions we have to waste. So I think we're okay with this. Movement might be a little hard to come by. We don't want him going too far away because we're going to have to spend 3 actions where we are, and we're not set up particularly well for that at the moment. I guess we're going to let him do this. His other options, I know he has cards in there where he won't move. I'm actually, now that more I think about this, I'm actually tempted to discard this and hope that he just stays here, because then we'll have a couple turns because we're running out of time. I don't know. I'm gonna discard it. I don't want him running away. I feel like that's too far away. We're not gonna have enough movement to catch him. That's what I'm thinking. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm thinking. So we used all our actions. We're gonna have a couple Hulk smashes. Maybe that'll be useful. And let's see if I made a terrible mistake. Hopefully whatever he does isn't worse than what it was. He stays put. Okay, that's what I was really hoping for. Add a thug to his location for each punch at the bottom of the last 2 hero cards. We're just going to put a thug out. We can absolutely live with that. I think that is just about the best case scenario. I mean, well, that is one more thing between us and the crisis tokens, though, but we were going to have to spend actions either way. We do have a punch, so we can take that out. It's just, how do we get rid of the stupid crisis tokens? I want to punch him. Well, we have to use a Tony card, so we're going to have a punch. Could get a bunch of punches. What I need is to get rid of that civilian. So if I do the heroic now, get the civilian, we can punch the thug, and then next turn we get rid of the crisis tokens, but then he's going to act again. I think that's the best we can do. We're going to use this heroic. So we have a heroic and a punch. We're just going to clear these off. The civilian can go here, though I don't see us rescuing 5 more. And we don't have any cards to draw anyway. And now we have that heroic. Now we have a heroic action. And you can use those to clear the crisis tokens. Oh, it's going to be so close. It is going to be so close. Because I'm going to play this double punch. So now I have a heroic to take 1 crisis off, a punch to take the other one off, and then a punch to hit Taskmaster once. He only has 1 health left, but now it is his turn, and after he goes, I have to play this card. And then we're just going to be on a clock. Game's about over one way or the other. Please don't go far. Oh, he stays put. If there are no heroes in his location, place a crisis token there. Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect. He doesn't get a crisis. He doesn't run away. I have to play this card. That's fine. We get 2 punch tokens. We don't even need them. We punch him. Are there any crisis tokens anywhere else that I missed? It doesn't look like it. I think we got him. I think we got him. If we didn't make any big mistakes. Oh, please tell me I didn't make any big mistakes. Wow. That is a lot more like it. That is the difficulty I'm looking for. That came right down. I had no cards left. I could have played a Hulk card if the game continued, but then after that, the game would have been over because I wouldn't have been able to play another Tony card. Okay, that was awesome. That was really fun. I spent a lot of time that you're not going to see trying to figure out a lot of the turns, really. Just, you have to be so careful. I'm so glad I had that one practice game. It wasn't meant to be practice, but that's how it ended up, because I don't think I would have played this one the same way if I hadn't realized ahead of time that I really had to prioritize my heroic actions, to be very careful with them. I tried not to waste them on rescuing too many civilians, though I think I did a little bit earlier in the game. I obviously rescued a few I didn't need to, but well, there we go. We did go 3 for 3 on the core set. That was a very good time. We got to see a little bit more of what a hard villain might look like, or maybe just, the heroic challenge certainly limited us to some degree. And not having the battle plan cards, that would have made it a lot easier, because there were lots of times I didn't even care about these cards. That change of plan one is really nice to be able to wipe this. And, we could have been getting free heroic actions all game, which would have made this much easier. So I really like that for a way to tweak the system. If we had lost badly, then I just would have put one of those back in and tried again and just try to dial it in until you find the spot that really works for you. That's super cool. All right, well, that's going to do it for this one. I'm just starting to ramble now because it's always exciting to win a close game. But I asked at the end of the last one for some feedback on if people wanted me to continue playing this, and I have gotten a fair number of very nice comments of people telling me they would be more than happy to watch more of this. And I am more than happy to keep playing it. So definitely be keeping an eye out. There will be more Marvel United in the future. Definitely have some Marvel Champions videos I need to be getting out in the near future as well. But we're going to be getting back to this soon. And I think I'm just going to be working my way through the sets more or less as they were released. I kind of have my eye on the Spider-Verse box next. But if there is anything in particular you'd like to see, I have everything. So feel free to ask. And you never know, I might just go that direction next. So thank you so much for joining me. And if you did enjoy this, I just ask that you'd like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be playing this. So if you're a fan of this game, if you're a fan of Marvel Champions, or just of solo board games in general and like to watch these kind of things, please subscribe and join along. And I look forward to seeing you next time we get up in game. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.